Across the sand dunes, next to the wreckage of a star destroyer, a scavenger collects parts to sell at market. Her intuition usually leads her to the best pieces. People told her that she's been very lucky since she started this job, but she somehow knew it isn't luck. Something guides her, just like something guided her to take a different route home, only to come across another scavenger attempting to abduct a fully intact astromech droid.
Tito, you don't expect me to let you dismantle that beautiful astromech, do you? Not only would that be illegal, it goes against all my morals.
Tito let the scavenger known as Ray free the droid from his net. It wasn't the thought of being reported to the magistrates that frightened Tito. It was the reputation Ray had built for herself in the small amount of time she had been at Nema Outpost. So Tito said nothing. Just let Ray finish and then went about his day. BB-8 led a long trail of beeps, thanking this stranger for freeing him, then was shocked to find the stranger spoke astromech.
I don't know how I understand you. To be honest, I don't know how I can do anything I can do, and I don't know why I know what I know. No, I can't remember anything before a few months ago when I was found in the desert. I must have been ejected from whatever vessel I was traveling in because they told me I was lying alone with nothing but this staff near me. The locals said I shot out of the sky like a ray of light, so they started calling me Ray. One of the locals, Unkar Plut, owns a junk shop. He gives me food and shelter in exchange for me scavenging for him. At first, that is all I could think about. The need to find out who I am and what happened to me drove everything I did in the beginning. But eventually I realized that the chances of finding answers or even a way off this planet were very slim. Then a feeling set in that this is where I'm supposed to be, a reassurance that if I hung tight, answers would find me. Now what about you? What's your story? Well, all right then. You don't have to tell me the whole story. I guess I am the only one that dumps their whole life story on droids they just met. Come on, you can power down at my place. We will head to the outpost tomorrow to see if we can't find this friend of yours.
The next morning, Ray kept her promise and took BB-8 to Nema Outpost to help the droid find his owner. The pair were barely past the outpost entrance when BB-8 took off, rolling towards a man that seemed both surprised and thrilled to see the droid. Ray laughed to herself about how easy this reunion happened when she noticed a local street gang harassing a lone man. And that guiding feeling came back to her, this time telling her that she must save this man. Finn didn't understand what was happening. He had never been alone on a backwater planet, without his armor and weapons, without a squad of stormtroopers behind him, without the ability to call in a TIE fighter airstrike. When the street gang approached him, Finn's first thought was they must have business. He has never had any other encounter outside a battlefield. When they surrounded him, Finn felt naked. Without his armor or blaster, this fight wasn't going to be a fight. When they attacked him, Finn thought he should have stayed on the Star Destroyer. Finn knew he couldn't win this fight. He just had to hope he could last long enough for Poe to arrive and provide assistance. But Poe didn't arrive. The most beautiful woman Finn had ever seen arrived, and she completely took over the fight, dispatching the street gang in short order. Then she held out a hand and said,
I'm Ray, what's your story?
But Finn was too astonished to answer her question. All he could get out was,
How did you do that?
Why is it that every time I ask someone about themselves, they say nothing and ask me about me? I believe etiquette dictates you answer my question before you get to ask one of your own.
Luckily for Finn, at that moment he and Ray were interrupted by Poe.
Now I owe you thanks for saving my companion and my droid. So, thanks for your help, but we have to get going.
Now wait just a minute. I don't know if that's actually your droid or who you two are. I'm not just going to let you run off with the droid.
Ray's voice trailed off as the unmistakable sound of TIE fighter engines tear through the outpost, as the fighters make their first pass overhead. The trio regain their composure just in time to hear,
FN 2187. Return the prisoner and turn yourself and your collaborator in for betraying the Empire.
The trio start to run with BB-8 following close behind. Poe shouts,
We've got a ship hidden in the battle wreckage just outside the outpost, near that Star Destroyer.
Great. If we can get to the end of this block, I've got a secret route we can use to get there. That is if we aren't disintegrated first.
Rey says, as the TIE fighters make another pass blowing up the building right next to her. But the blasters miss, they lose the stormtroopers, and the trio make it to Rey's secret tunnels where they make their way, without further incident, to the ship.
That's an Imperial transport. How do you know it doesn't have a tracker on it?
Poe let out a laugh.
Based on the sound of TIE fighters coming towards us, I would bet there is a pretty good chance there are multiple trackers on the ship. But it's the only thing that is going to get us out of here, so get on board.
As explosions rained down around them, the group boarded the ship. Fortunately, Finn and Poe did such a good job camouflaging the transport, the TIE fighter pilots couldn't tell where the ship was. As soon as they were all on board, Rey and Poe begin arguing.
I will fly us out of here.
No way, lady, I am the pilot around here. You are just some scavenger who probably has never even been off planet, let alone flown in space. Step aside.
How dare you, flyboy? I can fly circles around you. If we weren't being...
There is no time for this. Poe has already flown this ship and he knows where we are going. He's the pilot. You do know where we are going, don't you, Poe?
Of course I do. A little planet not far from here called Takodana. I have an old friend that has a cantina there. We should be able to ditch this ship and get transport to a Republic-friendly planet. And hopefully we can get on and off Takodana before the Remnant catches up with us.